I said I wouldn't talk anymore about this. I lied. um, I guess this is Easter, so happy Easter, guys. Whatever. Um, I want to speak to you about the South again. Yeah, I've said many times before. There's nothing in the South worth dying for. Nothing and nobody. Now there are some institutions here I like to say goodbye to, and there's some people I'd like to shake hands with and see one more time. But there's nothing worth dying for here. I just, how sometimes you with somebody or you doing something, and you don't like them, you don't agree with them, that y'all are just not on one accord. And you try to ignore it and you try to do your job to the best of your ability because, hey, your job's not about them. You just have to deal with them. I think that coronavirus showed me that, and I knew this already, you can't do that. So I'm a person that was raised like to treat folk with respect. I was raised like if you ain't got nothing good to say about somebody, don't say it. I was raised, keep your mouth shut. I was raised with respect and to give people their dignity. I was raised with these basic things in mind. And I just realized with rednecks, you can't do that. I realized that if we were on the same page, you could. But I realized that, I'm dealing with people who don't acknowledge basic science. So I mean, with that in mind, there isn't a whole lot to be talked about. You understand? There isn't a whole lot for me to talk about with people who ignore basic science and basic reason. There's just not much to talk about. And then if I keep pretending that there is, I'm giving them legitimacy that they don't deserve. You understand? Yeah, that's the other part of you have to be careful of. Everybody's not worth your attention, and everybody's not worth your respect. You have value. You have value. And you can't expect everybody to give you your respect. You can't expect everybody to give you your value. I'm sorry. I wish it was that way, but it's just not. You cannot go about this life blindfold. You cannot go about this life, with your head down. That's what a lot of black folks, I guess, want to do. Is ignore stuff. And you can't do that. You can't do that. You're dealing with your enemy. I'm not saying to hate white people. I'm not saying that. But I just realized that with the coronavirus thing. I realized I'm dealing with people that are never going to get it. I think that coronavirus for me was a big breakthrough moment. I mean, I told you that people have different breakthrough moments. There's people who their breakthrough moment was when Mueller did the thing and they came against him. Some folks would say, they just had different moments where they woke up at. And that's fine. My wake up moment was coronavirus, realizing that capitalism is not going to stop in the face. Capitalism is not going to slow down willingly in the face of an existential crisis that threatens human life. It's not going to do that. I mean, America's like a Ferrari with no brakes. It's a beautiful car. It's a beautiful thing. It's a very fast, very finely tuned machine, but it cannot wait at a traffic light for 2 minutes, without something happening to the engine. I'm not saying that's what a Ferrari does. I'm just using that as an example for you. That to me, that's America, and that's a problem. And we'll go back to normal, and people will forget about these things. But coronavirus should be a lesson. I mean, America has no buttresses. America has no type of how do you say it? There's no airbags. There's no airbags. There's nothing to blunt impact. You know, there's nothing to blunt impact in America when you have these major crises. I hope that people realize I think that's kind of why rednecks get so mad about the quarantine, is that they just like that guy in Florida that was talking about how we can just put a hairdryer up to the nose and it'll kill off the coronavirus. And he's like, don't see, just like most problems we can deal with them with small, what's it called? No, you cannot. No, you cannot. That's not true. You know what that showed you? That just showed me that you have rednecks that don't understand the significance of corona. They don't understand the significance. I mean, I guess they think that this is just some simple bacteria. They don't get it. And for me, I mean, I know people are like, good that he apologized or whatever, but for me, it just further underlined the fact that I'm dealing with people that don't get it, that don't value basic science, and want to come up with these cockamamie snake oil solutions. That's what I'm dealing with. People like that, like, I'm sorry, there's just not a lot you can do in reasoning with that. I mean, there just isn't. There isn't a lot I can do to reason with someone who is doing stuff like that, you know? You know, it sounds bad. But you know what would worry me? If he had come out with that and then like halfway worked. Like just like he just gave people like a momentary feeling that it worked. And the people would be like, see, that's conservatism, you know, that's small government, that's small solutions. We can deal with this ourselves. You know, I can just see them doing that. And they'll be like, that's all you got to do is stick up to somebody's nose. And then the kid gets brain damage or something. They hold up to the nose for hours, brain damage. I mean, that's to me like, that's capitalism. That's the era that I'm living in. That's the era that you're living in. That we're actually talking about putting thermometers up to somebody's head to deal with a pandemic. I mean, I don't know. I'm just making the point to y'all that I thank God this wasn't worse, because I feel like, sorry, look for my salt. Maybe you see. I feel like coronavirus could have been a lot worse, and it wasn't. It's the fact that you have an incompetent healthcare system. You have a president that's an incompetent fool. You know, you got a bunch of narcissism and you got a bunch of nepotism in the government, and that's what makes coronavirus a lot worse, a lot more dangerous. You understand? Than anything. That's what makes those things more dangerous. This was a major, massive failure of the federal system. That's what coronavirus was, a massive failure of the system. And you got an idiot that thrives on ego and thrives on arrogance and thrives on, you know, this, that, and the other. Once again, I don't like to make everything about Trump because he's an idiot. What this has shown me is if you had a significant, serious pandemic and we needed to make serious, quick decisions, the South cannot be counted upon. They can't. I mean, that's not, I'm not making a personal statement. That's just fact now. The South cannot be, you got ministers that are going to come out and make up bullshit. You're going to have idiots come out with some kind of harebrained magic cure. Because that's what they want. They want some magic cure that's going to cure all the ailments and make your breath smell good. And it can come out next Tuesday. And you can't do that. That's why when Trump will open the country back up, people like that guy in Florida, they agree with that. Mm-hmm. They agree with that. You know, I've always said, if people talk about freedom in the South, I have no idea what the hell they're talking about. Freedom. Oh yeah, you're free to be poor. You're free to have subpar public health care. When I'm talking about people that their job is to go out and investigate epidemics and pandemics and exposure to parasites and exposure to toxins. I'm talking about that, not when you go in the hospital and say, "Doctor, I'm sick." I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the people whose job it is to protect the public welfare. I'm talking about, as I always say, a robust sense of the public good, of the public health. You know, they've let us down. They have failed us. You know, that's what I think about often. It doesn't matter if you come up with a solution or a cure for. You got a cure for it tomorrow. You know, you can have all the blue flashing lights in the police cars and the waving at people going by. It all means nothing. It all means nothing. You have a government that has thoroughly 110% failed the American people. And not only that, I always say Trump has co-enablers. He has co-defendants, excuse me. The gentleman that died up here, Spradlin, he was a co-defendant in my mind. Not necessarily with a criminal case. Co-defendant just means that you're a part of my criminal activity. Excuse me. So you're going to do things to protect me no matter what. That's co-defendant. Because your case is my case. And Trump's case is white supremacy, extreme capitalism, and the American way. You know, he was one of those people that came out here and talked about his political. Now he's dead. Where is he at now? Peace.